We have now been to the land of Kitakami, but there are still many questions that we have, and a lot of these will probably be answered in the Indigo Disc, which is, of course, the second part of the DLC, the Hidden Treasures of Area Zero. The Hidden Treasure, it's actually just one treasure, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But some of these may be left unsolved for a while, as we've looked back at other regions and seen that there are some questions from every region, even the Kanto region, all the way back in Gym 1. But without further ado, these are the biggest questions that I have after playing through the Teal Mask. So first, we have a lot of questions still surrounding Ogerpon herself. We don't know much about Ogerpon's, people are referring to it as her trainer, but it's actually implied it's just her friend. But that's this trainer that we kind of see, or person rather, maybe they're not a Pokemon trainer, but this person we see walking around the village in Ogerpon's backstory. Now, there's a lot of theories here. This person is very tall, and there's some interesting stuff. So first off, I will address that a lot of people are saying this could be Volo or AZ. Personally, I don't think there's enough merit for that. I think the only reason we're coming to that conclusion is because, oh, they're tall, and so is Volo, and so is AZ. That's not enough for me, to be honest. I feel like if they wanted you to know it was AZ, they would put a lot more than just having a tall man be this person. But there's also some other interesting stuff, like it talks about how when Ogerpon and this traveler first came to the village, it says that the people feared them because of their appearance. Them because of their appearance. Not just Ogerpon. So they didn't just see, there's a man with an ogre. No, they saw two people that they are a Pokemon and a person that they thought was hideous. So there's also some question of, is this person even a person? Maybe this is a Pokemon. There's definitely a lot of questions surrounding that. We also don't really know what happened to the man. It says that he tried to protect the Teal Mask from the Loyal Three, and when Ogerpon came back to the cave, all she found were signs of a struggle. So she didn't even find the person in question. So, again, just lots of questions surrounding this dude. Hopefully this one gets addressed in Indigo Disc, but it might be a lot longer than that before we find out anything about this person. Then comes the question of where is Ogerpon from, as well as Ogerpon's friend, this human character. We know that they had traveled to Kitakami. Okay, well, from where? Because that means that Ogerpon is actually not native to the land of Kitakami. Now, I have proposed for a while now that Kitakami is just a small part of a larger region, very similar to how in the Indigo Disc we will be going to the Blueberry Academy, which is a part of Unova, but we won't be seeing all of Unova. Like, we're not going to Castelia City or Undella Town. So this could be a similar thing where Ogerpon is from this region and just not from Kitakami, but either way, we don't know that for sure. And if it's not from Kitakami, well, where is she from? You know, we don't know. We also have some questions of, are all Ogerpon female, or is just this Ogerpon female? You know, that the Ogerpon you get in the game has a 100% female rate, you know? Similar to how we know Ursaluna can be a male or a female, but the Ursaluna that you get in the Timeless Woods, this Blood Moon form, is only a male. Well, that doesn't mean that all Ursaluna are only male, just means this one, for everyone's game, is going to be a male. So, are we seeing a similar thing with Ogerpon? I don't know. And that's when we move from Ogerpon and really have to ask the same questions about the Loyal Three. Where are they from? They also came from outside of Kitakami. Maybe it was, again, part of this bigger region that Kitakami's a part of, or maybe it was somewhere else entirely. But given that we know that these Pokemon don't live in the Kanto, Hoenn, Kalos, you know, all these regions we've been to before, it leaves the question of where are they from? Given that they are heavily Japanese inspired, I actually do think it is the case that they are from this larger region that is based off Tohoku, Japan, that Kitakami is a part of, especially because if you look at Okidogi, Okidogi seems to be based off of an Akita Inu, and Akita is a prefecture in the Tohoku region. So it would make sense that if Kitakami is not covering all of Akita, and is just covering other parts of the Tohoku region, well, Okidogi could be from the part that is Akita, and I'd imagine the other two could be somewhere, but as we've talked about before, these Pokemon could be from all over the world. We really don't know, and that's what I'm wondering is, where are these Pokemon from? What did they look like before the Toxic Chain? Because we know they did look different. Talks about Pheasantipity was really ugly, Munkidori was really stupid, and Okidogi was very weak. So I'd love to see what these Pokemon looked like before the chain. Were they a Pokemon we know, like Tranquil or something? I don't know, and honestly, we may never know, but I can dream. Then there's the question of who the Loyal 3 is serving. We do know that there's this fourth member of the Loyal 3. We see it in the backstory of Ogerpon, and we also see it as a little plush or like a decoration over at Peachy's in the Mosui Town store. That's what Peachy's is. It's the store there, in case you didn't know. But this Pokemon seems to be inspired by Peach, as, you know, its plush or decoration is at Peachy's, and also it just makes sense because since all these Pokemon are pulling from Momotaro, Momotaro is the Peach boy, so he was actually born from a Peach, so it makes sense that this Pokemon would be a stand-in for Momotaro, and thus would have Peach inspirations in its design. And we also see that the Loyal 3 have a master. They're all called the Retainer Pokemon. That's their classification. And a Retainer is a servant to someone. So who are they serving? I imagine it's this Peach Pokemon, but right now we know nothing about it. This is one that I'd say is pretty much like 99% confirmed to get revealed in the Indigo Disc, but I'm not sure about the other questions on here, and I wanted to throw this one out there just in case it doesn't get answered there. Now there's the question of Oni Mountain. What is Oni Mountain? We actually know it has no ties to Ogerpon because this mountain existed before Ogerpon got there. So what exactly is this? I did a theory with Birdkeeper Toby over on his channel that this could be tied to a giant that used to exist in like before recorded history in the Pokemon world. There's actually a lot of evidence throughout the Pokemon world of giants once existing, so it's a great theory, and I definitely think you should check it out. But if that's not the case, there's still the question of what is this mountain, because again, Ogerpon's not from here. It went to go live in that mountain, so the mountain already looked like this, and I gotta tell y'all, that's a strange formation for a mountain to just look like. I feel like it was either man-made, Pokemon-made, maybe it's a giant turned to stone or something. I don't know, but I'd like to know. Earlier we mentioned the Blood Moon Ursaluna, and there's a lot of questions there. I've done a theory on how this Ursaluna may have changed, but at the end of the day, it is just a theory. We do not have a concrete answer for how this Ursaluna changed. We also don't really know, is this an Ursaluna from the days of Hisui? Perrin has implied that it is, but that's kind of wild in itself. So, you know, there's a lot of questions here. We do know that Ursaluna, Perrin has told us that they are very rare today, which means they still exist today. So this could be an Ursaluna from present times, or it could be an Ursaluna from the past. What's the deal there? And again, if it was, how did it change from this to this? I don't know. I have a theory on it, like I said, but it's just a theory. Will we ever get an answer to that? And then there's some questions about just the Kitakami region as a whole. You know, first off, again, there's a lot of implications that Kitakami is part of a larger region. It's called the Land of Kitakami. They never call it the Kitakami region. We do know it is a new region we haven't been to before. It's not the Paldea region, because when we arrive, one of the kids is like, oh wow, smells like a new region, or something to that effect. But again, there's a lot to imply that Kitakami is more than just Kitakami, or at least is a part of something bigger. There's a road that continues onward. We can see on the map, land continues outward. I think that road shows that there's more civilization outwards. It's not just, you know, wilderness. There's more here. And, you know, the fact that it's based off a small part of the Tohoku region makes me think that's exactly what it is. It is a small part of a larger region that is based off of Tohoku. I want to know more about this. What is this region called? Again, I imagine it is not called the Kitakami region, and that Kitakami is a part of that region, similar to how, you know, like we mentioned, Akita is a prefecture of the Tohoku region. It is not all of the Tohoku region. You know, so Kitakami is similar to that, or Glaciado Mountain, to put it in Pokemon terms, is a part of the Paldea region, but that doesn't mean that all of Paldea is Glaciado Mountain, right? So, again, what's going on there? And then there is the question of how did Kitakami get Terrastal? We know it's probably tied to the crystal pool, which has Terra crystals up there. That just makes sense, that's tied to that. But there's still a question of why these crystals appeared here, especially since it's so far from Paldea. I mean, they're opposite time zones. When it's day in Paldea, it's night in Kitakami, and vice versa. So we know they're very far away from each other. So it's a little wild to believe, right? Like, it would make sense to me that a region that neighbors Paldea could also have the Terrastal phenomenon, and that we would see crystals there. But for one to have it on the opposite side of the globe naturally is really, really strange. And I hope we get answers to why that happened, and I think we might. That's one that I'm kind of 50-50 on. But yeah, be sure to let me know what you think of these questions. Let me know any questions you have about the Kitakami region, as well as maybe your answers to these questions. Again, it's all theories, but that's kind of the fun part about being a Pokemon fan, right? Like, we can make these theories. So let me know your theories on these questions in the comments below. Which of these do you think will get answered in the Indigo Disc? All that fun stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. Very soon, we have a video coming up tying a little bit more into this stuff about Kitakami being a small part of a larger region. It's a very big video. I'm very excited for it. You don't want to miss it. So again, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. And until next time, I will see all of you later.